Come on now, bro. All these pound for pound fighters are too scared to fight me. They need 200 million to do it.
You got 200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul. Talk about you fighting the best fighter in the world. You better be taking it seriously. You know, that goes to show, you know, how serious he's taking me out.
Terence Crawford has seemingly made a U-turn on Jake Paul's place in boxing. And now, with him emerging as a possible replacement for Gervonta Tank Davis, Crawford has made it clear. If the conditions are right, he's willing to take the fight. That's a major shift from his earlier stance. Crawford had long dismissed Jake Paul as unworthy of sharing the ring with real professionals. To him, Paul represented everything wrong with the modern boxing era, a YouTuber walking in, cashing multi-million-dollar checks, and calling out seasoned fighters who had spent decades mastering the craft. Back then, Crawford didn't mince his words. He labeled Jake a circus act, someone turning the sweet science into a spectacle, entertainment instead of true competition. He stood firmly with purists, saying, boxing isn't a game for clout chasers, but for those who've endured years of hard lessons and patience.
He can punch with that right hand. Like, I seen him, you know what I mean, up close in person. Like, dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there was times where, you know, him and Tyson was...
Now, Crawford seems to be walking back his earlier criticism. The tone has shifted, and a sense of respect is starting to show. During his recent appearance on Logan Paul's podcast, Crawford openly admitted that his perspective on Jake Paul has changed. He confessed that at first, he couldn't stand the idea of social media stars stepping into the boxing ring and cashing massive checks while lifelong fighters struggled for recognition. He said he used to see it as disrespectful, a shortcut that undermined the grind real boxers go through. But somewhere along the way, Crawford realized he might have misjudged Jake. He acknowledged that, like it or not, Jake is boxing now, putting in the work, taking the hits and earning his place through legitimate competition.
Because check this out, Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, this gonna be taking candy from a baby. You know, Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happened when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens, you know?
According to Crawford, the shift in perspective happened after he actually watched Jake Paul train. He saw a different side of him, not the influencer chasing clout, but an athlete putting in real work. Crawford said, after watching him and seeing the seriousness he's bringing to training and focus on the sport, I was like, this dude is getting better. And coming from Crawford, that's not just a casual compliment. This is an undefeated, detail-obsessed technician, a man who notices every flaw and mistake. So when he says Jake Paul is improving, it carries weight. Crawford isn't calling him elite, but he's acknowledging that the effort is real. And that's a level of respect nobody expected just a year ago.
Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN.
Crawford's turning point came when he saw it with his own eyes in Puerto Rico. He happened to be there for a boxing convention. The same weekend, Jake Paul stepped into the ring with Ryan Borland. Jake ended that fight with a clean knockout, and Crawford was watching closely from ringside. Later, he said, during that fight, I was sitting there thinking, this dude can really punch with that right hand. Something clearly shifted in that moment. Crawford wasn't saying Jake had faced a world beater, but he recognized the progress. Every fighter starts somewhere, and in Jake's case, these bouts are building blocks. Small steps toward legitimacy in a sport that demands you earn every ounce of respect.
Like the influencer world would be the most lucrative thing for my career, and I think I was the only one who like actually wanted to do it and actually wanted to go all the way, and that's why I set the goal for myself early to become a world champion. set the bar extremely high. And
Crawford now says he's come to understand that Jake Paul isn't trying to skip the line. He's not out here calling for Usyk or Canelo. He's fighting opponents that match his level and getting sharper with every bout. People just want Jake to jump straight to Usyk, Crawford said. But that's not how it works. You climb the ladder one fight at a time. That admission marks a huge shift. The same man who once rolled his eyes every time Jake's name came up now speaks with genuine respect. Watching Jake live changed everything for him. And with Gervonta Davis's fight in jeopardy, Crawford's newfound openness has sparked real speculation. The door to a potential Jake Paul versus Terence Crawford matchup isn't just cracked open, it's wide open.
Kidnapping, all sorts of crazy stuff, guys. If this is true, I just talk about just fumbling the bag. One of the biggest financial opportunities of his career, and he's about to ruin it. It's being reported that Jake's team is offering Ryan Garcia as a replacement for a December.
When Crawford first heard whispers about a possible Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight, even he called it crazy, and honestly, he had a point. Jake usually competes around 200 pounds at cruiserweight, while Tank fights at 135. That's not a small difference. That's a whole weight class jump and then some. But Jake wasn't backing down. In a Netflix interview, when asked about Crawford's reaction, he actually agreed. "Yeah, it's crazy," Jake said. "You've got two of the biggest names in American boxing. Completely different styles, completely different sizes. That's what makes it special. His skill and experience make it 50-50. My size makes it dangerous." Nobody really knows how it ends.
See this footage? Look at Tank. Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways and see the depth. See, from the front view, you can't really tell. But when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby Ryan.
It's classic Jake. Confident, calculated, and always ready to stir the spotlight. But then came the question that really lit things up. Would he fight Terence Crawford? Without missing a beat, Jake said, "I'd fight Terence 100%. Let's make it happen." And just like that, the internet exploded. Nobody saw that one coming. Crawford, 42 wins, no losses, a living legend, one of the most complete fighters of his era. Jake, still young, powerful, and far bigger than anyone Crawford's ever faced. From a business and entertainment angle, it's a goldmine. From a boxing perspective, it's pure chaos. The kind of matchup that divides fans and headlines overnight.
I'm not gonna lie, you really got knocked out.
Yeah, I really got knocked out. Watch the fight, you idiot. Went 12 rounds. Like, you're weird, bro. Bro didn't even knock me out or even throw punches. That's sad, bro. Just know, bro, I'm coming back. It's gonna be vicious. Like, you guys don't want to see that. You guys are weird trying to troll me over a fight I didn't even care about.
From a legacy perspective, this whole situation is wild, and maybe that's exactly why both men seem interested. Jake even dropped another bombshell, revealing that a fight with Canelo Alvarez was almost finalized before the Mexican superstar shifted gears and signed a new deal under Saudi boxing executive Turki Al-Sheikh. "I still think the Canelo fight is massive," Jake said. "We're two of the biggest names in boxing, and it would be an incredible challenge for me. But right now, my focus is on November 14th. Getting through Tank first." It's the kind of statement that keeps fans guessing. Is Jake Paul really trying to rewrite boxing history? Or just playing the game better than anyone else ever has?
Right. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility. He's now working on fighting orthodox. He's naturally a southpaw. Now he's working on fighting orthodox.
Now that the Tank fight seems to be falling apart, the question is, then who's next? And honestly, Crawford fits that spot perfectly. He's got the name, the legacy, and the technical mastery that commands respect. Jake, on the other hand, brings the numbers, the marketing power, the headlines, and the mainstream attention.
It's Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
It's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Just a year ago, Crawford wouldn't even mention Jake Paul in the same sentence as serious boxing. Today, he's saying, if everything aligns, I'd take that fight. It's no longer unthinkable. It's business. And honestly, it makes sense. Crawford has accomplished it all. Undisputed titles in 2 weight classes, a flawless record, and pound-for-pound respect. There aren't many fights left that truly excite fans or pay him what he's worth. A matchup with Jake Paul, that would break pay-per-view numbers. At this stage, it's not about proving anything in the ring. It's about capitalizing on legacy, timing, and opportunity while the spotlight is on.
What's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder? I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake laying one good punch on Tank.
Marketing genius, but when it comes to people that pick and lose fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke blowing up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit for real, 10 ounce, well, I'm told it's 16 ounce gloves, not like an exhibition. Right. I'm told it's big gloves and head guards.
Jake's team isn't exactly playing it by ear either. They know that stepping into the ring with Crawford would give Jake a level of legitimacy that no victory over a retired MMA fighter could ever provide. Crawford is the real deal, a world-class, technically flawless boxer. And if Jake can hold his own, or even just make it the distance, his reputation in boxing would skyrocket overnight. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy, the kind that could redefine how people see him in the sport.
And the situation, you guys can look into it. I didn't, you know me, I don't really speak about stuff outside the ring, but now I have to since it affects the ring, okay, and what happens in the ring. The fight may be canceled. It's a civil suit. From my understanding, and I don't want to, confuse you guys or misinform you guys. I didn't look into it much.
The only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake.
Anthony Joshua has now weighed in on the chaos surrounding the Jake Paul fight. While 2 former UFC fighters, including Nate Diaz, are reportedly being considered as potential replacements for Gervonta Davis, the biggest shocker came when Joshua's name entered the conversation. After weeks of speculation and playful online banter, promoter Eddie Hearn confirmed that discussions about a potential Jake Paul versus
kidnapping, all sorts of crazy stuff, guys. If this is true, I talk about just fumbling the bag. One of the biggest financial opportunities of his career, and he's about to ruin it. It's being reported that Jake's team is offering Ryan Garcia as a replacement for a...
I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose to somebody that... There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. You agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's at WWE. So right. Like, at least that's happening and getting some.
It's the kind of line only Anthony Joshua can deliver. Straight-faced, no theatrics, just pure readiness. It wasn't a negotiation or a clever social media tease. It was a clear message from one of boxing's biggest names. If the deal works, I'm in. Promoter Eddie Hearn, however, reminded everyone that while the idea sounds exciting, it's not so simple to make happen. Speaking to the press, Hearn explained that there are still a lot of moving parts, mainly the messy business side of boxing that needs to line up before this fight could become a reality. Biggest obstacle? Streaming contracts. Jake Paul is currently tied to Netflix, while Anthony Joshua is signed with DAZN. Both platforms are major rivals, and unless they can negotiate some sort of crossover deal, the fight can't even move past the discussion phase. Eddie Hearn explained it plainly. Without DAZN's consent, or a deal that satisfies all parties, there's no way the fight can move forward.
Come out and put this fight in serious peril. So much so that reports have been saying that, hey, Jake Paul's team have already started contacting fighters about being a replacement, whether it be for this November 14th date or maybe a date in December. And the 5 names they already contacted are some of the biggest names in the sport. We know it's early. Less than 2 weeks, no fighter is going to take that. There will be no fight if it isn't Tank Davis on November 14th. As this moment, there has been no cancellation, but it seemingly is in the direction of Tank Davis not fighting Jake Paul on the 14th. So no fighter, legitimate fighter, is going to step in on 2 weeks' notice.